let's move away from that and talk about global action coming in a week after a public showdown at the Oval House. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said the talks between Ukraine and the United States on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war will take place in Saudi Arabia next week. Zelenskyy confirmed that he will be traveling to Saudi on Monday to meet the Crown Prince, and post that he will meet the US officials as well. Let's go across to Srinjoy, who is with more details on that. Srinjoy, take it away.
First of all, this problem has to be solved. And regardless of how public that spat was and how ugly it was unprecedented, of course. Regardless of that, that problem remains to be solved. And that problem has to be solved. So the only way to solve it is to talk. So also there is pressure from Europe. Whatever it is, Britain, France, Germany, all these countries, even Italy, have all supported Zelenskyy. And right after that spat. So this is something that even America will have to take note of. So America remembers that, yes, while it's the preeminent member of NATO, the other countries in NATO comprise Britain, France, Germany, all these countries. And Britain and France are also nuclear powers. Let's not forget that. Yes, they have smaller militaries. Their militaries have been hollowed out because of lack of spending on defense over these recent years. Nevertheless, they are still nuclear capable countries. They are still nuclear powers. They are still part of NATO. And they have been effusively welcoming Zelenskyy in London, in Paris, and so on. Now, all that has a cumulative effect. And that effect, very straightforward in a way, is also pressure on America. So there will have to be meetings, there will have to be ways to find a solution to the Ukraine crisis.
Thank you so much, Srinjoy, for getting us all those details. But indeed, the tariff flip-flop continues in the United States. Days after Trump administration announced 25% tariff on both Canada and Mexico, the US president has gone ahead and delayed the tariffs. Let's go across to my colleague Sumita Karir for the details. Sumita?
Are Trump's tariffs on or are they off? Well, that's the billion-dollar question that some countries like Canada, Mexico, and China are pondering over, because in his latest executive order, Trump has put a temporary halt on new tariffs that are targeting imports from Canada and Mexico. However, it's only for a certain few products and goods, and it's only for a short period of time, that is until April the 2nd, after which Donald Trump says that the big one will kick in. Now, this decision follows what Trump called as his very fruitful conversation with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. He has been very accommodative with Mexico, in fact. And in a Truth Social post also, he posted, and I quote, "I have agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April the 2nd. I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum." Meanwhile, on the other hand, his stance towards Canada has been rather combative. It's been markedly different from what his stance towards Mexico is. For Canada, he stated he's accused them of unfair trade practices and call it a high tariff nation. Let's come to the USMCA that has brought in some relief for Canada and Mexico. Well, it is the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement that really is excluded from the new duties, at least for now. This was negotiated during Trump's first term, as this was essentially created to create a free trade zone between these three nations. But we'll have to see what really happens, because Trump's stance has been changing. So on the issue of whether his decision was impacted due to market volatility, well, Trump has negated that view. He said that it's not really because of what's happening. The stock market volatility has nothing to do with the market. He says that he's not even looked at the market because in the long term, United States will be very strong and different from what it is as of now.
Okay, so